TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me. My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
You are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. Or I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that.
Oh, you did it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on CNBC News, NBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KZAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Amazon Music, Podchaser, JioSan, Rumble, and more. And I am Dr. Marissa, and I've been with you now, just celebrated 11 years on the air, on camera, bringing a show about hope and happiness to you. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time, bringing topics and guests. Yesterday was an amazing show. If you missed it, please go free subscribe to my YouTube channel and listen to the testosterone estrogen science-based reason why relationships are having an issue these days, with the difference in men and women coming to play. Men are more estrogenic than they used to be. Women are more testosteronic, and it's causing some issues. So it was a great show. I was so blessed and grateful that I got to spend almost another hour with him, him helping me. And I kind of wish we had taped that, because I got very vulnerable, which is not my normal. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. But please do free subscribe there. Thank you for all the additional subscribers I've had just in this last week. I just love the fact that it only takes 11 years to create a good habit on hope and happiness. But you'll notice I also have series now this last year to celebrate this show and to bring you different topics. And today we have my only male co-host. His name is Sam Works. He is my straight talk with Dr. Marissa and Sam Works every Thursday morning. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Dr. Marissa. How are you?
I am happy and grateful. And we'll just jump right into our gratitude sandwich. Can you put a little more light on you? You're blending into your dark background, but it's okay. Just in case you didn't know. But we are going to do 8 specific gratitudes between the two of us. And that way I can help you work the muscle of starting every morning with things that you like about the world around you. Because Lord knows there's a lot of news out there with all the things that are wrong with life and people and the weather and all that kind of stuff. So I think I did my first gratitude yesterday, having Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, with me. And then as Sam's getting settled in, yeah, that is much better. There we go. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful to have a roof over my head because it's raining right now, and I wouldn't know how to survive if I was in the streets. It's pouring where I'm at right now. I don't know about where you're at, but yeah.
It poured all night. Now it's the sun's starting to come out.
Oh, there you go.
The sun will come out tomorrow. I am grateful for technology that allows me not to have to roll out into my car to get to the studio out in Redlands, but I get to do it from the comfort of my living room. What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for forgiveness. Right, Dr. Marissa. Because if there was no
I'm
forgiveness,
glad you
in
brought
the
it up
world,
first.
yeah, the world will not turn if there was no forgiveness, right?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you brought it up because see, I didn't say anything. But yeah, remind me to talk about the gender differences, just even in misunderstandings or missteps. I don't call them mistakes; they're missteps, and just we'll just say it. So y'all know, yes, or when was it?
Monday.
Monday show was my anniversary, and it was actually Sam's idea to do this, and he's like, well, not his idea, but I pitched it to him first. What about my anniversary, having my co-host come? He's like, I'm in, I'm gonna do it. And then
I thought it was
because
great.
Alon like loves Sam, so she's like, yeah, I'll come down too. And then all the co-hosts come line up, and then he doesn't show up. And then I was expecting an apology that I never got. And so that got me even more mad. But because I'm so testosterone led, I have a tendency to just power over stuff and like, oh, well, or, and not admit, because I hate admitting when something hurts my feelings. Like I can't stand that expression, because to me it sounds so wimpy and weak and, too emotional. So I rarely, if ever, say you hurt my feelings. And so when Dr. John Gray and I were talking after yesterday's show, he said, you've squashed your feminine side so that you're not vulnerable. You don't let people know when you're, hurt or something hurt your feelings. And I even on the show, I said, God, I don't even know if I can do that. And then what happened was he helped me get in touch with that side of me that, it's normal. Y'all know I'm one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma, to kind of really put that protective, and y'all know I'm pretty friendly. I love people love me, what they see. And so, that part of me is really not accessible to most people. And as a result, it's easier for me not to have a relationship. It's no wonder I don't have an intimate relationship, because the first sign of something, I'm like, fork you. We don't match, and bye-bye. And so it was an interesting thing, because in his mind, in Sam's mind, he's like, I don't want to apologize to you on text or phone. I want to do it face to face. He was going to wait till today. And I'm like, no, timing is everything, right? I would prefer that to have that apology like right after, especially after I called your mom. So that was a good, gender differences or personality differences, or how as Sam's saying, it sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but for me as a woman, to get in touch with my estrogen and to allow myself to be vulnerable is like, I have to learn how to do that. So yesterday, I gave it to him. I was pissed, and I, just like boom, like gave it to him, and it was weird because I don't usually do that.
But
I'm just like whatever. But I told him exactly how I feel, and then he's like, "I love you, Dr. Marissa."
Okay. But do you feel better now
So
that you
anyway,
released it?
I can't say I do, because I'm gonna like play this back and regret it, right? I just confessed that I, got my feelings hurt. But it's an interesting thing that I'm learning. Like, I thought I got all this handled, right? I'm the teacher, I'm the coach, right? I'm supposed to know this stuff. I'm supposed to be able to, work with it or know what to do, or, this stuff is not supposed to bother me. And for the first time, that, I don't know if you call it a spiritual bypass or the moving off of things without fully processing, that side of me. I'm realizing that is, it doesn't matter how much weight I'm going to lose. It doesn't matter how much I see my body. Oh, he said that part about, I want to be able to, he said, all those teachings about look in the mirror naked and love what you see. He's like, forget all that. That's like way, don't even go there. Just put on something nice and learn how to love yourself. And I'm going to get emotional, but it all comes down. And I preach this every forking day about love and self-care and self-approval. And I try to practice it, but he really, put the finger on the very core of the bottom of my heart that I still have. That place that is so, it got hurt. And I'm not going to get it done. But I have to, this is the biggest thing in my life that is still wounded. That no wonder I haven't had an intimate relationship. No wonder I don't have great sex. No wonder I don't have that place of, take care of me or love me or, soothe me or cherish me. It's tied to that very, very deep place of hurt. So the good news is I get to see him, and this is the best thing about having this show. And he knows me and I know him, but not on a very close, more meaningful level, and all of that was brought forth yesterday. So I get to meet him when I go out for Mother's Day in San Francisco. I get to meet him and his new wife, and his new wife is Chinese. And I've been thinking about having Peking duck. Yeah, I've been thinking about having Peking duck for a while now. And so he suggested that, of course he did, let's meet at a Peking restaurant in Chinatown. So I'm like, yeah. So I get to meet his wife and speak Chinese and, have a teacher, who is, he's really a great teacher. Dr. John Gray is he's been on Oprah 18 times, but he also, pointed out that there's a special, I talked about it, I think not on your show, but on Netflix with Michelle Obama and Oprah and the kitchen table, and how, Michelle has 12 really good friends, and he goes, and Oprah only has one. And I thought having that one special friend was, the epitome. And he's like, oh no, she's got so many people clamoring after her that she has that protective wall up. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, that if I want to be called, the Honorable Michelle Obama instead of the Honorable Asian Oprah, that Michelle's vulnerability is what shows forth in her. She admits, and she's not afraid to bear her foilables, whereas Oprah and where I've been headed, it's really important for me not to make a mistake. It's really important for me not to say the wrong thing. It's really important for me not to share, although that's not true. I have shared a lot of foilables on the show. So I guess I'm doing good on that one. But anyways, I'm rambling, but I just wanted to share, to practice this new, project, not love my body, but project love my feminine side, I guess, or love my
Dr. Marissa.
1.0 or negative 1.0. And if you're tuned in and you're wondering why Sam is laughing and I am crying, he did not beat me up. He's actually the first witness of this continuous growth and expansion called life. And you are tuned into Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
And we are like really off track with our gratitude sandwich. One more gratitude from you, and then we'll go to appreciation.
Okay. I'm very grateful for my friends. Pauly Boy, he's one of them. They keep my spirit high. I always have a good time with my guys, and it distracts me from all the stress that I put on myself. So I'm grateful for them.
I appreciate that. I am learning how to be kind to myself, learning how to really deep down love me.
That's good. It's good to hear. Woo-hoo, applause. All right, so now
No, your appreciation. No, appreciate you.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
We did
Okay,
bottom of the bun. No, I didn't say I appreciate you.
Oh, that's Marissa.
I'm just kidding. I just couldn't resist that one. What do you appreciate about yourself?
Okay, so the first thing that I appreciate myself is no matter how many distractions and things that happen in life, I try to keep pushing forward, right? I think that's very important. And, it was tough apologizing to you and moving on and, make sure we do this show, but I'm grateful that I did that. So I appreciate about that.
I appreciate that. I learn new things every day. And in order to integrate this new learning about myself and letting myself be vulnerable, he told me to let guys do like everything for me without having to reciprocate. So we can talk about that. But his view is date someone who you're not interested in. And allow them that is very interested in you and allow them to treat you nicely and to, I remember my daughter calling us, this guy is like sending me flowers and doing all this stuff. And it was her first time having that kind of treatment. And I thought to myself, when was the last time I had that kind of treatment without feeling now I owe that boy or that person something. And, so it's it's a practice, right? So I appreciate that I am learning how to actually put new practices in place. And so as I start this thing called dating, I think I told you I was speed dating for the first time last week. I'm going to do it for the second time this week.
You didn't tell me, Dr. Marissa. That's on my bucket list.
Oh, I didn't? Oh,
No,
my God.
tell me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was the day after.
Tell me how lame.
I guess we're doing a duo topic. What was that?
Tell me how lame these guys were.
Well, let's finish this. So,
Okay.
What last appreciation from you, man? This is like the most confusing breakfast ever.
I appreciate that. I try to, upkeep myself, right? A lot of people, they can let themselves go. And I think it's important for me specifically to, stay sharp and, stay beautiful, because it goes a long way and it doesn't last forever. So the longevity of it.
Yes. Good word. All right. And that is it for a very
What's yours?
Confusing. I did mine already. Well, I didn't do 4. Okay. I appreciate that I can have a sense of humor. Oh, no, I got it. I appreciate that I can let myself cry without apologizing, because tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft, and that um I'm good at that. I don't
Okay.
apologize, and I don't have to like go away and redo my makeup. It's like whatever. And if you've just tuned in, we're just finishing up breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And we're talking about sex. Oh, to sex or not to sex in relationships. We started this last week for part 1, and we talked about at what age is not having sex okay, and how often you should have sex, and the role of sex. And we didn't finish, as we didn't complete, we didn't reach that release last week, so we decided to continue that conversation today. So that's what we're talking about. And Sam is going to try to remember. I know one of the points we talked about was the importance of sex in relationships, right?
The other thing
And
we
that go ahead.
One important thing that we were talking about last week was not or having sex with your best friend, right? Or your friend, or
Oh,
like
no,
a
that was
friend.
the week before.
Okay.
That was the week
Okay.
before, and I messed up when I told you that was the part 2 topic. I'm getting
Gotcha.
all this.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I remember. So
Good,
is it
good, good.
is it okay for being in a relationship without having sex? Right?
That was the one we started last week. So yeah, we had a lot of really great interaction too, with some of the chatters, and Glenn, and who else? Cecilia were here
Mhm.
in studio. But I think that you wanted to hear about speed dating. So I think it's my show. It's our show. We can change topics mid-course, because I know you want to hear about it.
I do.
So, okay. So new topic is speed dating. So if you're just tuned in and you want to, go there, I want to make sure the link is in my
Can you still hear me?
bio, because I told people. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I am going to tell you. So I started speed dating, and it was really interesting. I've never done it before, and they also have, like, I thought I was going to go to an event, where they ring a bell and you move from person to person. And there's actually an online version of that, which doesn't require you to actually go somewhere. And I thought, let me try that one first. So the first one, and they tell you, that what they do most of the time, like on the bottom of their name, you don't know where they're from, or you just apparently, and you have to pay money. So I paid $24.99, and it gives you access to the people and 1 month. So I'm on there for 1 month. And the first guy, he's a writer director, and we start talking, and I notice he has a wedding ring on.
Oh.
I'm like, I said, is that a wedding ring? And you only have 5 minutes, by the way, right? So you're connected. It's a face-to-face on 2D. And I said, 2 minutes in, is that a wedding ring? And he's like, yes, it is. And I go, are you married? And he goes, I was the love of my life, 31 years of marriage or something like that. And beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you might want to take that off if you're on a dating site, because for a second, I thought we were on what is that called? Swinger site, a swinger site, right? And he goes, well, if I fall in love, that'll be decided, but I'm not going to throw away 31 years of da 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 da. And I said, well, as a psychologist, I would venture to say that you're not ready for this. And he gets really ramped up and starts yelling at me.
Oh God.
Like, you're so wrong, and da 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 da. And this is my first one, right? Da, 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 da. And I said, we have 5 minutes, and you just spent the first 3 minutes. Like, the time's up. He hung up on me.
Oh no. Oh man.
So then I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And then second guy, physically not necessarily my type, but I'm gonna try not to do my old habits and judge with my eyes, which is a very male thing to do, by the way. So I sort of, he asked me, I didn't know, he didn't have a thing on the bottom. And he said, so do you have any plans for the weekend? What are you doing this weekend? And I just launched right. You asked me a question. Well, I'm covering this event. I'm the celebrity officiant. I'm starting a 5K race, and I'm getting to put medals on it. And it was a fabulous event, by the way. March for Barrow. Go and put yourself in the registry of bethematch.org. I got to interview this little guy who's been in remission for 4 years from a blood disease, because out of all the people in the world, there was only one match, and he was in Germany, and the guy in Germany agreed for the bone marrow. It was just like my heart, almost like, it was just a beautiful event. And I love the people that are at that event. And I covered it for the news last year. And then she contacted me to have me do that. And it was just beautiful. But anyway, so I said, I'm going to do that. And after that, I'm teaching Tai Chi on the beach. And then after that, I'm going for a Mahjong tournament. And after that, I'm going to see, what concert was I at? I just went to another concert. Oh, Keiko Matsui's concert, my sister who was on my show. So I just went like that, right? On the interview, on the speed dating interview. And by the way, Dr. Gray says that's good. I should be talking about myself because that's like a connecting thing. Even though I thought it was too, like, it is also could be too male, because you're talking about yourself, which is male. So I have to make sure that what I say is of a connecting nature. So his reaction was, but I did it in 2 minutes. I didn't take the whole 5 minutes. So his reaction was, wow, I want that life. Now, I'm used to hearing that, right? I love my life. I know I get to do a lot of great things. I try not to be braggy about it, but I really love my life, and I'm grateful for it. And his reaction was perfect. It was like, wow, I want that life. And so I said, and what do you do? And he said, I'm a doctor. And doctors and lawyers, there's something, I don't know, right or wrong, but probably my Chinese cultural conditioning, that those are the two things that are, of that status. So doctor, what kind of doctor? He's an internist. He's in Northern California. And then he also flies to Missouri to do some doctoring over there. And his parents are there. So he spends time with his family, and he flies back and forth, and he's week on, week off, instead of overachieving, works all the time. And I was immediately attracted. So I was like, wow, that's great. And then, of course, the timer's coming down. This is my first time ever trying this. The timer's going down. I see it says add 5 minutes, right?
Ooh,
so
okay.
I'm like, I said, it's his first time too. Neither way, the very first time doing this, my second connection. And I'm like, are you good with adding 5 minutes? And he's like, yeah. So I hit the 5 minutes and we got disconnected.
Oh no.
Now, there's a way to message. You have to say, like, don't want to talk more, report them, make a connection for further, talks. And if you both do that one, you can now chat. Okay. So I did that one. I'm hoping that he didn't know how to do it because it's the first time, because it was hard to find that. Like, I didn't know how to get to the chat part of it. I finally found it, but he hasn't chatted back because I don't know if he knows either that or he met somebody else that he's pursuing, which I don't know. It was a good connection. So I don't know. And then I had another one with a physicist, and I hope he's not listening. I don't know how findable I am. I think I'm pretty findable, right? And I did put a picture in the studio. So anyways, he had a very interesting laugh. And but I was attracted to the PhD physicist and all of that. So we did the hours and then hit 5 minutes and it didn't work. And I guess there's technical glitches. And then he reached out and he did do the inbox thing because he's been doing this for a while. And he said, do you want to connect further? And I thought about it and I'm like, I don't think that there's, that kind of connection. So that was it. And then as a result of you buying that $24.99, you're now part of the registry. And then it becomes like that swiping business. They put up people's pictures and what they do. And man, Sam, I don't want to do this publicly, but I will text you some pretty amazing pictures of people. I don't understand. If you're out dating, why would you not put out the best possible picture of yourself? I mean, there's people who literally, like maybe it's because what I do, poor lighting, half of their face, bare chested when you shouldn't be, or it was just like, wow, I just can't believe this. So literally I went through maybe 200 pictures in the last, I went on twice just to, and then that's what I hate about those apps is you just waste your time. This was not swiping. It's just like X or it's check or X, but just that time that and you're just doing it by looks and about what they do. So basically it was just like a futile exercise.
Oh, wow.
But I'm going to try it again on Friday because now Dr. John Gray says that I should pick someone I'm not interested in, which is basically 99% of the people there. And he says that as soon as if I'm attracted to someone, that's when I lose my femininity. Because I'm going after them.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting? That whole should a woman ask a guy out on a date? So you can call it old-fashioned, but his whole premise is there are fundamental differences between men and women. There's fundamental differences in how we communicate and how we receive and how we listen and how we talk and what we're looking for. And the sooner that I admit that I want this and open myself up to that, the more likely I'm able to reap the benefits of an intimate relationship. And he just challenged every single one of my BS belief systems around how fulfilled my life is. Because I think that I'm, fulfilled and happy and I am. I'm 88% happy. But what he's convinced me of is there's just nothing more incredible than he said, he'll travel, he'll speak, he'll do his thing. He's testosterone. He likes being, admired and desired for his mind and his, he measures by how many people get his book and how many people, do that, which is what I do, right? And then when he comes home, he'll spend 2 days in bed with his wife to reconnect with the, the intimate and he says that orgasms are not, this is where people get confused around sex, bringing it back to our topic. Sex in relationships is not about climaxing. It's not about the orgasm. It's not about that release. In fact, that release will deplete your testosterone. That as much as possible, it's a multiple orgasmic, a little release, like a little seizure. And that is what pleases the woman. That is what allows the man to be fully available. And so he says he will keep himself from climaxing for a week to raise his testosterone.
Oh, wow.
And that's what's real lovemaking is. I've never understood the difference between lovemaking and having sex until yesterday.
You didn't know the difference? Oh, Dr. Marissa.
No. Yeah, no, because I honestly, I may have had lovemaking with 2 men, and neither one of them, I wasn't married to them. And 2 men. And that was one in San Francisco and one that I met I think it was at Agape. It was a while ago. And both relationships were maybe 6 months, I want to say, somewhere between 3 and 9 months. And it was because I could see that they really wanted me. They really desired me. And that's,
And what happened to these desired men that wanted
one
you and
of
had
them was
you?
the one I told you. Yeah. One of them was the one I told you that we broke up on Valentine's because he said, I don't give flowers.
Oh my gosh. What is he? Oh my gosh. These guys are killing me, Dr. Marissa. They're killing me.
And then the other one was, I don't remember. I think maybe it was he didn't want a relationship. He just wanted to have a physical relationship. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't even think it was necessarily that long. And and I said to John that I don't even think I've ever had an orgasm through penetration. And he told me that 75% of women are in that same boat.
Yep.
So he said that the stimulation on the clitoris is a masculine release, and that if you want to access your feminine side in an orgasm, it is in the vagina. So there's, because it's a different energy and if it's a different stimulation, and apparently there's a new toy tool helper that allows you to distinguish those two. That's what he said. But what's all of a sudden the eyeballs are coming in. I guess they caught the orgasm or the the the
It's
literal reference. So hope I don't get in trouble for this early in the morning. So isn't that interesting though?
Yeah.
And I always thought that if you had, I was very bold when I was doing sexual healing with Dr. Marissa about the importance of self pleasure, the importance of keeping yourself well, have a change in lube and oil for yourself. But he said that is not. It's important for the oil and lube job, but it is not even close to what is good for a woman.
Mm. Yeah, I
That
can't tell
the
you.
penetration is so important.
Is it okay? Because there's so many women that prefer just going down rather than just penetration, just because like that's how they get off, and it's like it's interesting because I mean guys on the other side, like they just want the penetration all the way through, like they kind of just skip to that, and guys don't warm up with the women, and there is a difference between love making and sex, and part of it is just taking your time.
What
And
is that to you?
love making,
What is the difference to you?
well, with sex,
How do you define?
um sex for me is just like a physical feeling and kind of like a performance based thing, like, oh, if you had good sex, that's good sex, right? Love making is, to me, kind of euphoric, right? It's different than just banging it out or whatever. It's a little more intimate for sure. And if you know what you're doing, like there's more than just the feeling. There's a bond between two bodies and two hearts, you know. And you can really tell if you're having it because like it's in the atmosphere, it's in the room, and you can really feel the love in the air, as they say, right? Um, there's not step by step instructions when it comes to making love. When it comes to having sex, there is, right? But love is two people bonding and connecting in a euphoric way that is not made for everybody else, right? Like sex can be used for everyone, and it can happen to anyone at whatever point, but love making is different because you have that emotional, spiritual, and physical attraction or connection that you're having, and it's kind of like going on a, not really an adventure, but a trip together, you know what I mean, in this love making, um I've had love making and I've had sex, and there's a huge difference, and if you were like, oh, I never can tell the difference, well, then you probably never had love making, right? Because if it's all the same, then it's just sex.
Well, I've definitely I definitely look forward to experiencing that.
Mm.
And yeah, I you just admitting that it's something that I want is so difficult
Well, Dr.
because
Marissa,
I'm so self-sufficient.
well, not only that, you specifically can have everything and anything, right? And that's just one thing that you can't just say, I want that, I'm gonna get that, like that is something that's like built and earned and not rushed, and it's not something you can have in an instant.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're ageless, right? So you can't be like, well, time's running out, because time doesn't run out for you, you know.
Yeah.
Dr. Marissa.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest, pun intended, thing that I've had to tackle. You know,
I mean, they say
just even admitting it.
they say that you can have anything but not everything, right? So some people they choose, you know, being promiscuous compared to being monogamous. You know, some people choose money over fame, or you know, it's on the, you know, what is that? What's going on
You
here?
see my ring?
I
I
do
haven't
see your
worn
ring.
this ring in such a long time.
Who gave you that ring?
I'm preparing.
Ooh,
Love.
love. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We're definitely living out loud as usual. You've just tuned in. This is Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show with my special Thursday series, Straight Talk with
Sam Works. And
my co-host and Asian Oprah. We are here talking about speed dating, sex in relationships, and the difference between sex and making love, which wasn't the original topic, but it is
No.
a good topic because it is
It's a good topic.
truly something that I am grappling with right now. And my co host is supporting this new, softer, more vulnerable side of my feminine persona. Good Lord Almighty. So, the one change that I have to make now is in the past, if I'm not attracted, it is not in my, you know, to waste my time being with someone that I'm not attracted to is going to be the most difficult thing that I do, because you know how much I value my time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same as money because you can't do a do-over, but for the sake and the respect for the teachings of Dr. John Gray, and he's not the only one who has, you know, Dr. Pat Allen, who used to come on. It's a similar kind of, it's tough for feminism for sure, because it kind of really undoes what appears to be, you've come a long way, baby. How we don't need men to complete us, how we don't need to have, you know, that kind of, we can equal right, equal pay, sorry, equal work, equal pay, and all of the things that have up leveled our power. And the downside is it's robbed us of a part of us that is truly unique and important and real, and the yin and the yang of relationships. So,
you know,
that's going to be the most difficult part.
What's his name again? Dr.
John Gray. And
Dr.
I'm going to read Men Are From Mars, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, dating. There's one book about that. So I get to get that one. And his new one called Beyond Mars and Venus. I didn't check. I gave away a free copy yesterday. And my schedule is just so crazy. Let's see who won. Yeah, we have a winner. So I was going to say, if we didn't have a winner, I'd get you that copy, but too bad. Sorry.
Well, I'm sure you can buy that book on like Amazon or anywhere, right?
You can buy it from anywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Beyond Mars and Venus. Do you know his other book is the number one best-selling book in the 1990s?
Really? That's probably where a lot of people were like kids when I was in elementary and middle school, they would have like that little chant, like guys go to Jupiter to get more stupider, girls go to, you know, whatever. Like maybe it's probably that same concept or phrase.
It's him. That came from him, by the way. So all of that came out of his work. So look at this. This is USA Today listed his book as one of the top 10 most influential books in the last quarter century. In hardcover, it was the #1 best-selling book of the 1990s. They're translated into approximately 45 languages in more than 100 countries. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. And I wonder if
this is what he looks like.
Oh, that's what he looks like. He looks like a happy guy. Look at him.
He is a happy guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if his book will still stand today in terms of like being, #1 or like bestseller. You know what I mean? Because like the way people thought in 1990 was different than how people think now. Especially when it comes to feminism and masculinity and things like that. So I'm very curious. I probably should read that book. I mean, I'm old fashioned, so I'll probably agree with what he has to say. But I'm also curious what he has to say about males,
And there's a lot there, and it is he cites the reason why people are not getting married, don't want to be married, high-level divorces, even gender confusion. All right, all of that stuff. Yeah, all of that stuff is a consequence, an unintended consequence of the whole trying to blend everybody into the same thing, right? Or trying to decrease the differences. And by disrespecting, I'm using that word, not his, but my interpretation is by disrespecting the real differences between men and women, that is the reason why we are where we are. We have men with higher levels of estrogen and, not as motivated, in addiction, not wanting to achieve, that hunter thing that is sort of ingrained, and women who don't have access or aren't in touch with the nurturing feminine, allow for the appreciation and the caretaking. That's why we are where we are with all of the even politically, even this level of, we them versus us, he attributes to the testosterone and estrogen imbalance. So we're out of time. Final word.
Perfect time is not. What was that? What was that saying? Get back to me. It's okay. But hey, I'll come back next week. And
thanks for joining us today. This was a very real straight talk today about sex and relationships and intimacy. So I hope you enjoyed it. Come back next Thursday. Actually, come back tomorrow for Tempting Conversations with myself and my co-host, Alon Carter. In the meantime, remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through, inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.